I don't think so. They all kind of are demonstrating the same thing, which is that I have no idea what
Mhm.
I'm doing with this Joseki.
Uh,
Um,
this specific Joseki used to happen a lot before AI. Nowadays, it's not that common. But when it happens, usually it's the same kind of flow. The moves might change, but it's same kind of flow, I think. Uh,
okay.
but for this one, it might be more of a, oh, it happens here. Okay, you're playing as black.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what happens here.
And I'm not sure if I'm just like even doing the wrong thing.
So for
Um,
just before we get into that Joseki, uh, here, taking this Atari,
I know when
sort
the
of.
D14 stone is on C14, that's what you're supposed to do as black, but I don't know with the higher.
Mm,
I don't know with the D14 stone where it is.
yeah,
Um,
I think it's okay, but looks a bit painful. Yeah, you have the option since white did an Atari, you have the option of taking a call later. So I think white should Atari now, and then think about what to do next. But getting the Atari in is already a good exchange. Uh,
mm,
but mm, yeah,
that
nothing
makes
too
sense.
important so far. But here, when this tone uh, is a little bit further back and you can get some sort of base here, in general you should get a base. Before AI we thought this was a little bit cramped, but
Mm,
this is pretty good and it's super difficult to kill this group. The game should be very
mm.
much close if you get a base here. Other than that, you can do stuff like you're trying right now.
I
But
thought
before AI, there
E3 was a
was
fake
this sort
point,
of
but I
attachment.
didn't. I guess it didn't work here.
Mhm.
I just missed to make it work.
Mm,
I kind of gave up right away because I realized
if you have a
I couldn't.
supporting stone around here, then you can try stuff like this sometimes. And then
Uh,
if white plays here, you can sort of crawl. But you need a supporting stone, I think. Otherwise, this cut
mm,
is too much. Um,
I see.
but
Yeah, that makes sense.
there used to be um, a Joseki where, what was it? Uh, you first do this and then white plays something like an extra stone here, and then black plays this, and then you get into a trade. There used to be some
Mm,
sort of flow like this, but overall this is good for black because the corner is kind of big, and the corner was white uh, originally, right? So
yeah.
not a good idea for this sort of flow. Um, as white, one other alternative when you get into this is, especially if you have this tone and you're gonna try to focus on the outside, you can play this move, and then something like this might happen.
Mm,
You get the outside, but if you want to move out, you can lean on white. This isn't too ideal because you're going to uh, give away many points around A. But if white gets a massive wall around here, then it's good for you because this stone is going to be too close to the wall. And that's the idea behind this attachment. So you want white to keep on pushing, or maybe you jump here. And now this A stone is too close to the wall. And black has a very nice shape on the outside. And white owes you a move around B. Otherwise, the territory is going to be broken. And black is probably thick enough or strong enough to tenuki, and then you can play a big move on the right side. This is um, a
That
very
makes a lot
common
of
flow
sense.
for this Joseki. Let me just go back to the beginning. Maybe with less stones, it's easier to explore the possibilities here. When you approach high and your opponent pincers, and this sort of thing happens, you can just jump out. Your opponent will try to develop the bottom. And here you have two options. You can counter pincer around 8, or you can push a few more times and then counter pincer. If you keep on pushing, then the compensation you need later is much bigger, right? Because you gave away a lot of points on the bottom. But it's also
Yeah.
much easier to fight because you have a lot of extra stones. From White's point of view, what used to happen a lot in this sort of flow was for White not to try to rescue this stone, but to try to minimize the damage. So White plays here, and then maybe White can try something like this schema, and
That
suddenly
kind of like
this,
argue that black's over concentrated
yeah,
in
exactly.
that area.
So
Okay.
and then the question becomes like, can you cut here, or if that cut is too severe, you can maybe jump. The game should be close like this. Uh, I've examined some of these possibilities, including when you pincer here, uh, usually White would try to move out somehow. That's the more common flow when you don't push. When you don't push at A as Black. But White could also push here. And then you're kind of like, what do I do? Because if I answer, then it's already a good exchange for White. White can still move out. And now if Black keeps on pushing here, White is developing at the fifth line now, right?
Right.
And even if White maybe answers on the left side, the best you can do is maybe like jump and then White defends. Maybe you can do
Yep.
this, but it's probably very complicated. There's this sort of cut.
Oh, yeah.
It might be too much for Black. So if you can only jump, if you turn here, it's already a loss for Black, I think. So here, I think Black should try to capture this stone, but White is okay with it. It's like there's still a lot of Agi with this stone, and White has sent it, so the game moves on. Maybe you can even approach here right away. I haven't researched this too deeply, so but
Yeah.
this move, like pushing here, is at most minus 1 point. Like it's less than minus 1 point. The typical flow is like moving out somehow, and moving out with Ikosumi looks kind of slow, but is pretty good because uh, it's really strong against this shape, and it's really strong against the C shape as well. It's aiming
Yeah.
at let's say white black plays here. You can maybe consider playing a 2 space jump instead of a 1 space jump. And if black pushes around here, maybe later you can think about this, or maybe immediately even. Because now if black tries to penalize you here, I feel like the loss on the left is bigger. But I don't know. These exchanges are all reasonable, and AI kind of agrees because you lose less than a point uh, if you play a reasonable move here, one of these jumps or Kosumis. If the pincer if the pincer is a little bit looser, something like this,
Yeah.
then black can use this sort of lean
Oh.
to take moves on the outside or to take moves that improve the base here while pointing at weaknesses. This sort of move has a lot of pressure on white, and so whites will feel pressure to answer, and you can keep on going. There's still a cut here, but I think the next best move is this shoulder hit. Shoulder hit that's also an elephant jump. And
Mm.
obviously there is this weakness. However, black can dance around it, getting forcing moves around it. And
Mm.
as black gets these forcing moves, this weakness becomes more and more glaring. And capturing this stone is not small, but it's not that big of a deal for black. You can just sacrifice it and get some sort of more or less thick wall on the outside.
Huh.
But none of these moves will win you the game, but well, this is the sort of flow you get from these
Feels a
Josekis.
lot nicer than any of the results I've been getting.
Mm.
Because I hadn't thought of that D7 on the loose pincer. Because I have
This
seen
one.
that loose pincer where it's like, I'm like, do I try D8? Like C7 feels wrong. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think D7 felt right, but I
Yeah,
can see now
it feels
like
strange because this push is very nice for white. But when you
yeah.
get this Hane and you pressure white from here, compounded by the fact that white is already very low on a corner that
Mhm.
was white's, um, black can take uh, a little bit of a loss in getting somewhat cramped around this area because white is already very low on the bottom.
Mm.
So white already took a loss. In that sense, you can pressure from your group instead of like counter pincering here, which is very intense, right? You're gonna get one of those running battles again.
Yeah.
Before AI, I think there was this move as well, and then you could countercut here. It looks like the shape is broken, and it kind of is, but you can dance around it as well.
Mm.
I don't remember exactly what happens here, but um, maybe uh, maybe you just extend. I don't remember. Looks more complicated than I expected, but I think this was a thing before AI. And again, I think it's more or less reasonable. Mm, we shouldn't lose that much. Uh, in this case, you don't want to get a base like this, but this move also probably doesn't lose much. It is cramped, especially when compared to A when the B stone is at C, but yeah, I think it's okay. If the pincer is a little bit farther back at A, then taking that base at B is okay.
Okay.
When when you have this specific sort of Chinese opening here,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, white has a Chinese opening going on the left side. AI shows us a very nice move to disrupt the Chinese opening's flow. Uh, I probably mentioned this move a long time ago. Do you remember
Mm.
this move?
Yes, I do. The
The,
attach.
the idea
Okay.
is to sort of flatten white. So this is one of the key variations, and you can kind of keep on pushing, and suddenly this tone is too close to white's strength. So this is kind of a success for black. If it is a success, it's a minor success, so white doesn't lose that much. And white has other options. It's very common for whites to either honey here or try to honey here. And
Mm,
black can just accept things. It's not a big deal. Uh, but if you've never seen this, maybe this can get frightening because the left side isn't small, right? And it's pretty solid. But it's all
yeah,
white's gonna get pretty much for the whole game. So
yeah,
I'm not. I don't think I would be happy as white here.
that makes sense.
And that's one of the reasons why pros stopped playing the Chinese, because the variations from these attachments are very simple. There isn't that much you can do, um, and it pretty much stops the Chinese right from the
Mm,
get-go, right? So these are like the first 10 moves or something from white, and already white can't find a fight. The purpose of the Chinese opening was to create fights. So we create a large framework here, let
mm,
black in, and through our fighting power, we can find compensation all over the board. That was the idea behind the Chinese opening. Curiously enough, the Chinese opening was not a Chinese invention. It was actually a Japanese visiting China in the maybe late 1960s or 1970s, uh, who got many complaints from the Chinese that they couldn't really match up with the Japanese in the Fuseki. And so
I
the
see.
Japanese pro player went like, okay, just play this framework. It's like three moves that you need to get from the beginning, and you can start a fight right away because the Chinese were very good at fights from the
I see.
1960s already.
Interesting.
Yeah, these attachments could work if you had one extra supporting stone at A or B, but like
Mm,
this, it's gonna be difficult. And this
yeah,
bump mm, feels kind of desperate because
yeah,
if
yeah.
white
I felt
simply
desperate.
connects, if white simply connects, what do, right? Or maybe white can
Yeah.
even consider this and,
Mm,
and what to do. I don't know. If you want to move out, you can move out. Just came here. There's no cut.
that is true. Yeah.
So, and this Kema is also a key move in many AI variations actually. So uh, you get this base, and if white tries to um, yeah, still attack you from the inside or from the left, you can move out with B.
Mm,
But now it's a bad exchange, and you're just reinforcing white while taking territory that is open from the bottom and territory
yeah.
that isn't even enough for you to live, right? And if you want to
Yeah.
live, uh, usually it's better for you to either take the tiger's mouth or the drop down because it creates more eye space or more eye shape.
Yeah.
This one is for more eye space, and this one is for more eye shape. Uh, it's not the case that this is always worse. But usually, it's worse.
That makes sense. I, yeah, I didn't really know what I was trying to do here.
Well, didn't you want
other
to
than with.
rescue this stone?
I was thinking about it. I wasn't expecting J4. I was expecting like J3 or H4 or something, and then I thought I was going to get a little bit more to work with. And I felt like J4 just kind of shut me down.
Well, now that you have those supporting stones, maybe you can try this one, right?
Oh,
And the A
I could.
stones, have way fewer liberties like this. And you have a supporting stone at B and a supporting stone at C. So I think this will work. There's this
Yeah,
cut, but you can just Atari and then connect. Maybe like this even. So you capture the
yeah.
corner, live big. But
I
like this,
didn't.
I feel like white gets too many liberties even if you rescue this stone.
Mhm.
The corner has way too many liberties. So at least this turn is going to kill black group.
Felt like here at least I got the trade of F3 for H3, so it didn't feel too bad.
Mm-hmm. I feel like maybe white can Tanuki, no? Still too
Yeah,
few liberties. So let's say white plays something else. You try to rescue those stones. After this block, if you come from the outside, oh, maybe this block is a problem. So now white has 4 liberties in the corner and black has 4 liberties. So black wins. Also, you can't stand king. Okay. Yeah, you get this sort of exchange. It helps you live, but which move makes more points, right?
yeah,
Definitely A.
yeah,
And after you get A as white, the RG around C diminishes by a lot. So you
yeah.
still have an invasion here at D, but I don't know. Maybe white could have played something else. Maybe this is a better move. It takes a liberty out of that group anyways. And you can always play like this. I don't think
Yeah.
black can win any fights here. Oh, but there is this still. I think it should be fine. Hmm. Okay, the attachment here. Hmm.
I was trying to decide between the attach and like M3 for a pincer.
I
And
think
I was like,
white should. I think when you attach here, you kind of kill the Agi around D.
yeah,
And attaching doesn't get you that much. I feel the right side is a little bit too open,
mm,
and if you solidify the bottom, it's a big loss. I don't know if you can justify it by doing stuff like this, because as white goes into the corner, you need to answer, right? And now it's white sent
yeah,
it back. If you do
absolutely.
this, maybe white can even attach, and then it's even more territory for white. If you go down, there is some agi with this push and moving out.
Mm,
It's still difficult for white to get this agi going because there's a huge weakness here, but it could become something in the future. At the very least, white has sent it, right? So white can play like this or something on
yeah,
the
get a
right side.
reduction.
You asked me about how to approach uh, corners with extensions? Do you mean something like approaching the BC shape?
It was kind of what we had talked about earlier with the Chinese opening,
Ah,
where
I
the
see.
attach, because there's actually, I think this game is what I was thinking. They already have this, and I was like, I want to approach the bottom left, but what I did in the game got me in such a rough position so fast.
Yeah, but
Um,
B is a fine move. C is also a fine move, but the board is all open, so you can play many different things here. If you invade here, even if you invade at E, which I think is the worst, not the worst, but it's worse than D. Uh,
mm,
it should still be fine, just a minor loss. The shoulder hit at F is also nice, I think. But B and C are the first options, I think.
okay.
Yeah, just
And
try to avoid these sort of exchanges unless you really, really need them.
and
I would
so
much rather,
instead,
for example, go up here because then it's a Nobi versus a Kosumi. But in this case, it's even better for you to just run out like this.
let's jump like this. Was C7 was correct when I played that, or when I played
E7.
A?
Yeah, this move is very good. It's the
Okay.
AI move actually, but this exchange is a little bit damaging, and it's an exchange
Yeah.
you can get at any point, right? So it's better to leave
Yeah.
it for when you're sure it's going to work. So you can play
Yeah.
here, and then whatever, blah blah blah, and then suddenly white Tanuki something around here, and finally you play B.
Yeah.
Since B is
That
a
makes
weakness, playing at C. Later you did play at C, but it's maybe even better if you play at C first to see how
mm,
white reacts, and then you start thinking about B, right?
yeah.
Um,
Let's see, be kind of a question.
yeah, yeah, yeah. A probe. Okay. This turn, when I see a shape like this, one of the Tsujis is to, instead of turning, to play this.
Oh,
Because
okay.
if white goes out, then you could think about fighting here.
That makes
You
sense.
might even reactivate some logic around A.
Yeah.
But if you turn, then suddenly the shape is too clean for white.
Yeah. I just solidified everything for white.
Yeah, it doesn't mean the turn is bad actually. If white is too strong here, then just get the center move and move on. But in this
Mm,
case, you would ideally want to get something like this. Because now it's like the turn, but better, right?
yeah.
You get the extra A move, and you can even later get maybe this move in, and so white gets less points, and you have
Yeah.
a bigger
Absolutely.
wall as well. Uh, but playing this right now, maybe white will welcome the fight. I don't know. Uh, I would rather
Mm,
leave it for later. The key point is to leave it for later because you don't need it. So let's say you pincer from here, and then suddenly white is moving out, and you keep on attacking. White moves out here. Then now it makes a lot of sense for you to turn because
yeah.
you're getting a nice center move for the fight. Or maybe you could stop here with the attack on the right side, and finally you play here, baiting white
Hmm.
into moving out, and you move out with
Because
white. If white wants to keep on moving out, it kind of hurts the right side. In this case, maybe it isn't that convincing because it also hurts this tone quite a bit, but this would be the idea. Like you try to force 5 and 6 to naturally move you out towards this group. In this case,
Yeah.
it wasn't that that great of an execution, but that's the idea. Um, at the very least, you should postpone the turn till it's very necessary. But let's see. Okay, you end up answering from the top. For white, the main, I think this is what white played is one of the weaknesses, but I feel like black could just defend or
Mm.
maybe kick like you did in the game, and the corner is getting too big, and white is still getting attacked. The main weakness for this corner shape here is probably this.
Yeah.
And then if black blocks here, you can do something like this. There's also this move.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's very loose.
Like this, the corner feels too big to me. And this cap works really well because you have two very strong friends and friends that are in key spots for white to move out.
Mm.
Uh, this is really nice. Oh, you would rather probably just peep?
Oh, yeah, because that's stronger too.
If you kick here, then white can still get some forcing moves around here.
Yeah.
And try to move out into the center. It's better to do this. Now white is a B2 bomber. Do you know the B2 bomber shape?
Yes.
I'm going to
Yes.
send you an article about
Yeah.
the B2 bomber later.
Yeah. If I had poked that, that would have been
This is the
much
classic
better.
uh, B2 bomber peeps against the tiger's mouth, the double tiger's mouth. Whenever you see a double tiger's mouth like this, it feels great until your opponent starts peeping on you, and then suddenly
Yeah.
you get a clump of stones.
You're like, wait a minute.
Yeah. And here you can even follow it up with this move. Now you're threatening to get a lot of points on the top. You strengthen the A shape as well, and white still needs to run out. Maybe in this case you can even try something harsher, I guess, playing like this. It's probably good enough to just take the points. Mm, I think the tiger's mouth here was probably a little bit better, but should be similar. Oh, mm, mm. If
Wasn't
you
sure of
just
another
play
way out of
here,
that. I could have tried to
you're
fight there.
probably afraid of white kind of connecting underneath, I suppose.
Yeah,
You could have gotten this Atari at any time, right?
that's true. Actually, that's a really good point.
And if you
I didn't
get
think
this
of that, and then
Atari,
I could
and
connect them.
then you can probably just connect here. Oh, there's
Yeah.
gonna be a call actually, so this go? You're already connected on the outside, so this sort of go. Yeah, white. If white captures, white isn't completely alive, but pretty close to alive.
I felt like maybe I should have connected H17 and let them run out with H13 instead of blocking on the
A17.
outside. Like right there. I was wondering if that was a mistake and I should have just protected with H17 here.
So for this shape, sometimes you can still seal white in with this peep,
Oh,
because white cannot really move out.
oh wow.
But sometimes this doesn't hold, but I think you can try
Right.
this now. And you even have like an extra peep here, right? So you could peep here as well. It strengthens your shape a little bit more.
Huh.
I mean, black and white will connect. I do this. White is kind of out here, so
Yeah.
you have a stranded group in the center as well, but I think you should be fine. So this, I think you should be fine. If you run into the center with white, with the B group, while damaging the C group severely, and exposing some weaknesses around D and E, I think you can survive, and you're taking profit on the right side. So I think this is an okay flow for you. If you block and white plays here, can you connect with this? Let's say you Atari here first. And this. Is there an issue here?
J18
G18.
or J18
Oh, this.
after so yeah, is there anything there at any point?
Oh, like this.
Yeah, and then
Oh.
connect.
So this one is working. Nice. Nicely spotted.
Just G7. Oh, maybe G17. I don't know. That was complicated.
Maybe you
I was
start from
looking at a
here.
lot of different variations here and I got really confused.
So losing this
Um,
liberty is kind of key. So maybe after the so Atari and then play here. If white plays this, then finally you push. If white
yeah.
plays this, then you don't push. You prefer this. Then white cannot connect because you're just going to go through. If white plays the counter Atari, then you can capture. Can you capture this? So maybe become some sort of cool. No, but it's sort of cool. Wow. More complicated than I expected. Maybe you can do this first and then push and cut. Still cool. If this... Oh, didn't you push? Then Atari. If this, then this, then a call still. Okay. The never-ending calls.
It always comes down to a co.
But in this sort of fight, I highly advise you to not push, because at the
Yeah,
very least, you're going to make it harder for your opponent to handle this situation. Because if you push,
yeah.
you have less liberties, less options. But if you don't push and preserve your options, your opponent has more room to make mistakes.
Mm.
So, yeah. I don't know if your opponent would see this wedge from here. It looks so much more natural to Atari, to Honey from the outside, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And now that you're cut through, you lost a lot of points on the left side, probably. You gained some points with B, the capture of B. You're gonna get to see Atari as well. So the territory looks kind of clean, but you need to handle the Atari at D. So it isn't that big in the end, actually. And your E group is stranded now. And since
Yeah.
this F group is out, it's pretty strong. So your only compensation might be to try to find some sort of attack on the right side still, and then handle the center group later. Maybe that's the plan. Oh, but this push, you're only making it easier for white, I think. I think white should just stick out.
Yeah.
If you
My plan
honey
at the time was I wanted to like treat H13 lightly. It's like
age 13. Oh, I see.
um, I was gonna cut that stone off, and then I was hoping if I could get the response there, I could try to reduce a little bit, or yeah, I don't know. I was a little, yeah, I started trying to reduce and then I switched around my plan because I realized that B18 was probably bigger than what I was trying to do there.
Mm,
I was a little aimless here, I guess. But my
uh,
original plan with F13 was so that I could get C11 and then potentially connect back. But I guess I just changed my mind right away
mhm.
on what I wanted.
So A or B18 is pretty much a Yose only move. Your B
Oh,
group is fine. There's a cutting point here potentially, so you kind of need to worry about it a little bit at
mm,
least. But A18, B18 or A feels like just Yose to me. And
that's fair.
um, since your opponent
Yeah.
managed to cut through you here, and your opponent had a lot of territory around E, I would be a little bit worried. Maybe I would need to count my points, but I kind of feel like the game should be at least close. And
Mm,
so if I play a big Yose move that isn't all that big, I think, uh, I would be worried for black. I
yeah.
think the two more urgent things on the board are what happens to F and what happens to H.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If you attack H severely, you can either kill it or profit along the way, and whatever move you get here in the center, towards the center, something like A, is going to help
Yeah.
you rescue the B group as well. Before doing that, I think maybe you can try this move because it helps the shape a little bit. any points at this cut, right? So that's why I was
Mm,
recommending that white should just stick out. Because when you
yeah,
honey here, you're just giving black a free move. And let's
yeah.
say you try to protect like this. Now black is another free move, maybe later, maybe now. And you need to connect and you get an empty triangle. So
Mm,
it's much better to just go through like this. It's
that
just
makes
one move.
sense.
This move is nice. You lose the potential for the cuts and you lose the clamp as well. But I feel like this is possible. But
I needed to follow it up though.
yeah, it's you can it's this is the sort of thing that you can leave for later, right?
Yeah,
Much like the I move, the J move are things that you can wait till the moment till the game decides for you what's best. Right now, you don't know
yeah.
if J is best or maybe K or maybe L or maybe
Mm,
even M, but later it's gonna be more clear. First, you push here, I think, because having to deal with this or this is really annoying because white gets better shape on the right side while also helping its attack against A. Maybe even better than going out here. Could be something like this. Because now if
yeah,
black plays here, white can cut, and white is more or less out with A. Mm, so could be a nice fight for white.
yeah.
There's still a cut at B as well. Black has some sort of weaknesses around C.
Absolutely.
Okay. Oh, this is kind of painful for
Yeah.
white. This sort of shape is really painful. Uh, White is okay with this group, the A group. That group can live in isolation. There are more urgent things on the board like B, uh, whatever attack white can get on the center like C, all much bigger moves. And this move is nice, but this move is much cleaner for protecting the left side or maybe this
That makes
attachment.
sense.
So it's easier to defend the left side with either this or this because this honey is really annoying, right?
Mm.
Against this shape, this is really nice, nicely played. Maybe you could get the Atari here right away, actually, because
Oh yeah,
white doesn't want to maybe play elsewhere and then have you honey here, and now that group is almost dead, right?
yeah.
But nice, you finally got this push. Okay, you're gaining points, right?
I didn't find the right idea
Mm,
though.
if you connect, you don't get the Atari, right? So if you play here, uh, this stone is in Atari. If you play here and white connects, you can still cut. This Atari is
Yeah,
painful, but I don't know. I think it should be okay as well to do it your way. But more important than this is for you to come back to play something like this, I think.
yeah. That makes sense.
You could already maybe think about cutting here, Because if white captures, then you can do the flip Atari here, or the outside
Yeah,
Atari sort of sequence.
that
And
makes sense.
if white extends, you should welcome it, because your shape, your stick shape, is much stronger than white stick, the A stick. So
Yeah.
this is the sort of fight that you want to create. But when you attach and white extends, white is so much stronger than you. White is basically piercing through your jump.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Since white can either connect at A or capture top um, the top cutting stone with B, white is really piercing through your jumps. So
Yeah.
in this case, you either want to play this move, or if you want to play from the center, you could play this still. But when white connects here, your cut through from the AB, mm, the AB Kema is getting cut through. So it's much better, I think, to cut, follow your initial plan. If white plays here, you can play the outside squeeze. There is a call here, and there is also a way for white to bail out from this fight, something like this.
Mm.
Yeah, maybe something like this. Black will probably not uh, connect. Black might probably play something like this. White will eventually live, but feels cramped.
Yeah.
But in this way, white is cutting through your shape. And now you need to worry about. Mm, nah, you don't. Yeah, there's nothing there. But there is a chance you can kill this group, I guess.
Yeah, it's what I was aiming for with the direction I picked with L11 and L9 was I wanted to get a little more outside strength
Mm-hmm.
on my center group so that if I kicked out the base from the right group, it would
I
not
think white
have
should
anywhere
try
to go.
to move out already, or but white won't be able to move out. But as you surround it, white can get some forcing
Yeah, I
moves
space. Yeah,
and eye space. And there's a cut here, and if white gets B, it's pretty much connected to C, and so the D E group is still alone in the center. So
yeah,
surrounding this group is kind of challenging. And in that sense, maybe you need to start from the outside actually. It's still
yeah, that
not
makes
clear.
sense.
There isn't enough space for white to live here. But it's still really difficult to kill it as well. And it looks really challenging. Maybe white can find an eye around A and then finally block at B to get an eye on the right side. It looks like a challenging fight. And white shouldn't have the Nukis here. I think this push is fine. But after this jump, white should just play like
Yeah,
this. Then surround and blah blah blah. Move out into the center to either connect to A or leave with some sort of eye shape around B. You can just
yeah,
you try to disconnect here, but white can maybe play another move like this. Oh, Yeah, this is looking very challenging for white. Since you managed to get this jump in, I think it's safer for you to play something like this, no? Right?
Mm.
Because this
Instead of
leaves
just,
out a hole here, right?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, now white gets an eye. It's a good eye though. Oh, don't spush. Just take, right?
Mm. Yeah, yeah. I was starting at this point, and I ended the game with a really stupid mistake. But around this point, I was starting to like not read properly. Like I started missing obvious things, like taking that to kick
No,
out the eye and
please
things like
don't.
that. Um, and then this went poorly too because I'm disconnected and I didn't even realize it at first.
Hmm. You might be able to fight it out, something like this. Because this cut you can just fix.
Yeah.
But yeah, the bigger issue is when white plays here, you probably owe white some sort of move around here.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But if you manage to connect here at A, then it should be fine. You just need to um, react to this move in a way that either captures B or connects C to D.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah.
but if you leave this Gote eye hanging, then it's gonna be difficult to kill this group.
Yeah.
What you could do here to fix both things at the same time is maybe this move. If white plays here, mm, or maybe in this case it doesn't work. No, it still works. So we can poke. If white plays here, still just one eye. If white plays here, it's gonna be, yeah, you
Like
can just
P6 or
play here
something.
or maybe here, but white can just take.
Oh,
So it's
yeah.
a little bit too late. So the beep should be okay, but not the push.
I need to capture here.
Yeah, maybe it's too late because there's big weakness around here.
Yeah. Yeah.
The main issue was not connecting here, maybe. If white pushes and cuts, how would we deal with this? If we connect, we can hold it like this.
Oh. Huh.
In the game, the issue was that when white plays A, now white can
Mm.
cut at B because it's supporting the system
Yeah.
for the cut.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Uh, you're like one move behind in the game, unfortunately, because you in killing this group, because instead of connecting at E, you connected at E.
Yeah. Yeah.
Killing groups
So
is
like,
always very difficult. And for white, I think white should already try to cut here because it's
yeah.
bigger than the center.
And then I was missing stuff there. But for a bit, my attack on the center group got reactivated.
But here you can probably just poke in, no? If white goes like this, you can do this.
Oh yeah, it could.
Maybe. Even if white captures V-stones, those are not the keystones anymore because white is already alive. So let's say
Right.
white captures here, you can still, I don't know, maybe you do capture. No, now I have the option of capturing the A stones later, and this helps a lot with this cut as well, because this is going to be a gote cut and you're all linked up with the AB group to the C group.
Yeah.
And now white is getting into danger. Note that there's no way for white to get an eye around D. So that really helps. And at some point you should peep here at A as well. Maybe you can do it now. Maybe you can do it now because at most white captures the A stones. But capturing the B stones is way bigger. So maybe you can do it now.
This is getting very close to when I made the stupidest mistake of the game. All right.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, the empty triangle.
I
You just
hallucinated a liberty.
uh-huh. We're trying to aim at
Yeah,
the
I should have
snapback
just
against A or
played
something.
M11, and I knew that I should play M11, but for whatever reason, I thought there were 3 liberties up there. I thought I had enough liberties up there to kick out an eye first. I spent like 3 seconds looking at it, or, you know.
White will live, but you get a lot of profit. This is a lot of
Yeah.
profit. So you manage to capture the A stones, the B stones. It might be doable for you to win. C is a really big loss, unfortunately.
Yeah. It was pretty rough. I just flailed for a few moves after this and then resigned.
Okay.
But yeah.
Do you have any
Uh,
questions?
I was like, I had a couple chances that game,
Yeah,
but
so
I
even
felt
after the
like I
fight
was
here,
off on the wrong foot just from the beginning with my Joseki on the bottom left, and then I was
but you fought really well in the center here. So when at this point, I'd be like, okay, the game is pretty much over. I just secure this
mm,
group somehow, and white is ahead. But
yeah,
you managed to find so many fights, so many nice exchanges. You found some exchanges around A, uh, then an attack here, and things happened in the center. Ooh, really nice to see these fights happen.
yeah. It's like I don't know. Whenever it gets to fights, I feel like sometimes I can find like some really nice moves, but then like we get to like one move and I miss like something really obvious, and then it's like okay, it's just all over. But yeah.
What helps is to practice more. As you
Mhm.
practice more, these things happen less and less. At the beginning of this year, I was not practicing that much, and these things were happening a lot to me. But
Yeah.
overall, over the course of the year, I think they don't happen that much anymore. So yeah, practice really helps. The prodigies in Asia also faced these issues actually, but
Oh yeah.
for them, what really makes these sort of moves unlikely is practice because they are prodigies, but they are always practicing. So
They play so much.
yeah,
Yeah, that
they.
makes sense.
I saw in Korea. I saw many in Korea and Japan. I saw many prodigies also making silly mistakes. They also do make silly mistakes, but it happens way less often because they are practicing. It's not only because they're prodigies.
Yeah, put in the effort,
Yeah.
get results from that.
Hmm.
But yeah, yeah, this was an interesting game. I don't think I can see the graph now in the review. I
Hmm.
don't think I realized during the game how far behind I was for most of this because the entire time I was thinking like, okay, I'm kind of behind on territory and I knew I was off on the wrong foot, but at the same time I was like, I felt like I could flip attacks between two groups and like aim for something.
Hmm.
Um, but
But
yeah, no, it's interesting. Like I'm behind 15 points in this position, which makes sense.
yeah, it's probably because this group in the center got so much weaker. You got cut through here from
Mm.
B, uh, and all you did get was some points around C. But since the
Yeah,
Atari at D is still remaining, uh, it's not that big of a territory actually. And
and it,
white has a lot of solid points. So a lot of solid
yeah,
points around E and around F if white manages to defend that properly. Uh, but you climbed back in the game because the center fight is really open and
mm,
your opponent misplayed, you manage to get back to the game. And right about here, the game is even.
yeah,
White messed up big time with this group, but unfortunately, you weren't able to capitalize on it. But still, later here, uh,
mhm,
without the blunder, the game would be good for you. 4 points for black.
yeah, yeah,
Was
absolutely.
close game.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
Okay.
it, and especially like going over that Joseki in the opening, just
Mm-hmm.
because I had, I think three, I think the games I sent you were three games I played in a row
Mm-hmm.
where my opponent, every
Oh, the
single time
same.
I did that approach and then they like pincered or did something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that. And I was like, not again.
yeah. But you might face another variation if you keep on playing against these sorts of fighting uh, fighting opponents, and that's this variation where white
Mm.
tries this sort of thing, and
Yeah, I think
you
I have seen this once.
you live in a corner, and white plays either this or this to get a nice outside, and it's very confusing because you kind of need to rescue V stones, but at some point you stop rescuing V stones in the AI variations. And if white plays in a way that tries to capture them too small, you just throw them away. Uh, it's really
Mm.
weird, and I even asked pros about this Joseki, and they weren't sure about what you do often. Uh,
Interesting.
so this pincer, this two space pincer, plus
Yeah.
the attach and the honey inside with this Atari is a really good combo for you to study because you can get a very nice advantage early on in the game if you know a little bit about this flow. Especially because this is the sort of fight where white is going to command the fight. If you know the moves for white, you
Mm.
get so far ahead so easily usually because you're commanding the fight. It's not like a 50-50 fight on the outside. You have the initiative.
Yeah.
You took a loss in the corner, but you have the initiative in the fight.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Hmm. Okay,
All
so
right. Thank you so much.